USL Live for the Season 55 Week 2 preview. I'm your host, Romulocks, and this show is a weekly podcast where we revisit the results from the previous week, discuss the upcoming matches, and answer community questions from our mailbag. Joining me to discuss all that and more, I am honored to welcome into the broadcast booth my co-host for this evening. First up, we have Kevin.
Zippity doodah.
We have Bowen.
What up?
And Eric.
Fuck Fausto.
Back to that. For more information on the Unified Skirmish League, including schedule, rosters, or how you can be a part of this league, please visit uslzone.com. Let's go right into our Week 1 games, opening of the season. And to start out with, I want to ask you guys, we opened this season on Twin Fields, which is a new map. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the map, just and how the game flows on it, and particularly if you're interested to see it in future rotations in seasons to come. Let's start with Kevin.
Yeah, I thought it played pretty well. The flow was pretty good when playing on the map. At first, I thought it would be probably a little bit too big, but it seemed to play pretty well as far as match-wise. Like during SBs, everything was south. But during the matches, we saw a lot of north play, which was good to see. But good flow during the matches yesterday.
All right, Bowen?
Yeah, I mean, some good variation. You mentioned some good flow. It's accurate. No real side advantage. I mean, you could argue a little bit on a couple sides, but it's pretty tight, and scores stay pretty close. So yeah, it was good.
Eric?
Yeah, I mean, just echo what everybody else say. I would like to see an iteration where the Dorito buildings are combined into one big mid, just to see how that would flow. But other than that, it was fine.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
I thought it was good. I thought the scores were generally, like to Bowen's point, they were generally pretty tight. The games felt pretty tight in the beginning. It felt like very competitive. And yeah, to Kevin's point as well, the fights were in different parts of the map. South is always going to get a lot of traffic, but a lot of other places got really good battles too. And that was interesting to see just from a first time using the map. It was not consolidated in the South like you'd expect. Let's talk about the matches that were on Twin Fields this week. First up, we had Monkey Business defeated Click 42-35. Your MVP was Jaguar. Kevin, go ahead.
So yeah, this was an interesting game. You go into it. I mean, as I said, I think in the preview, if Click got that first couple battles, it was going to be close, and it looks like that's what happened. Molo came in with a plan, stuck to his plan, couldn't get it done all the way through, but I think they played way above what we expected. Molo getting 9 kills, Llama getting 6 and 7, so that's pretty good. Good from a leader to go at least even. And on the other side, not the best game from their top players like Leak and Ninja. Ninja had, I think that's his first non-great game that I've seen from him. But yeah, Shasta and Eric doing their thing, 10-3, 9-3 as expected. But great game overall from Click. I'm sure Monkey Business wasn't happy with the win, or they're happy with the win, but they're not happy with they played it. I'm sure Eric will go deeper into that, but great game for Click, in my opinion.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I won't speak for obviously Eric's team or anything. I feel like the way we might have caught them off guard a little bit. They I think they were coming out ready to kind of run us over, and we held our ground a bit better than we really should have been able to on paper. And yeah, I mean, more power to our meds. Like, our meds were on fire. Our flank team was in perfect spots, and Molo led his ass off. So yeah, it was just a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, first off, shout out to Click for kind of what Kevin said, for having a game plan and sticking to it the entirety. I know sometimes when game plans fall apart, you kind of divvy out or stray from that. So they stuck to it. Good on them. Spark and Draco had a very quiet game for me. I didn't realize they were 5-2 and 5-1. I was mainly fighting like Molo, Bowen, Llama, and I think Suicider. But those two had a very good game. Molo obviously going 9-9. On the other hand, I'm sure from spec it looked like we were disjointed. It felt like we were disjointed. There were several calls throughout the game that were being made, and I can speak to Ninja having a quote-unquote bad game. There were several times he said, hey, I've got a solo angle, and nobody followed up with him, or they said they were going to follow up with him, and they were 5 to 10 seconds late, and Click did a very good job of just turning on him as soon as he went for it, and there was nobody to back him up for it. So some stuff we got to clean up. I will say Click reminds me very much like Dark Slayers, especially with 3.5 minutes left and they don't push until 40 to 30 30 to 40 seconds. I would say Molo with that firepower, I would push that to 1 minute and 20 seconds if you want to try and make that push in the last minute to get the win. I don't think you have the firepower to pull it off in that short time frame. Other than that, good game.
Yeah, man, you guys have said a lot. To add to that, I would say first of all, I give all kudos in the world to Click. I did not know you guys had that in you. We did not predict. First, USL Live needs to own up to we were very wrong on last week's predictions on a lot of things. And this game was in particular one that everybody thought Monkey Business was going to win this and possibly by 20, 30 kills. I think I was thinking more than that personally. And it all came together for Click in a way that I didn't know was capable. A lot of these guys have been on the come up, Llama in a Zoo, Spark, Cal, Suicider. They've gotten mentions in previous seasons, and we've been saying we've seen improvement. But this was a whole different level for them, for all those guys to come together like this. Spark did play out of his mind. We were talking about it on the broadcast. I'll get those games up as soon as I can. Llama also, we were talking about him. But nobody shined like Molo. Molo came through for you guys. I thought just destroyed. And you saw some guys fade into the kind of into the dark a little bit on the other side. Thank God for Eric and Shasta, frankly, to bring those scores in because Leak and Ninja were kind of nowhere to be found. Leak got pieced up by Molo. I don't know. I mean, just annihilated by him. And I remember the one time fondly that Bowen put Ninja up against a rock. With his Ripper and just literally blinked him out of existence. It was a really good day for Click. You guys did a lot of things right. And then around the 15-minute mark, we saw a shift and then you just couldn't hold on at past the 10. That's all that happened. But I think given more time, I think you guys can continue to improve. But it was a really good first game for Click. And a real concerning game on the other side. Monkey Business has some real things to work on. That I don't know. I think there were a lot of issues, and guys just not playing like they usually do. And I don't know if that was a one-off or just I don't know, just didn't come together. I'm not sure. Let's move on to game 2, which was Gentleman defeats K's Crew 66-32. Your MVP was Colossal. Let's go to Kevin.
Yep. So I was in this game, obviously. Just real quick, I did a little numbers crunch. According to the champion ratings, Gentleman going to this game had a 66.5 rating combined, which averaged out to 8.3 stars per player. K's Crew 3 combined 51.7, with 9 players averaging out to 5.7 rating. So we had a 5.7 team to a 8.3 team in the champion ratings. And at halftime, it was a 2-kill game, which is pretty outstanding for my team, if you had to ask me. So I went into this game with low expectations, but came out with, I was very impressed with how we played. Standouts, I think I said in the end game, were like Typhoon and Uni. They were talking every time they had someone with them, if they had an angle or what was going on. So it helped me out a lot. But obviously, this gentleman's really good. 8.3 rating combined, or for all of them if you average it out, with the 4 top 5 players in the game. So I knew we were going to lose, but we played way better than expected. So just very happy with that. And I'm happy I got everybody in that showed, which is also what I wanted to do for the entire season. So, but good game overall. I enjoyed playing that one.
Bowen?
Good guy, Kevin. Love it. Yeah, no, actually, that was a really fun game to watch. I didn't expect what we got. But I mean, just calling that game entirely, like the whole thing was just really entertaining. Even as the big battles got away from you guys a little bit towards the end, like it was still entertaining to watch. I feel like shout out to you. I mean, I think you went 9-9 that game. And a lot of you guys really showed up and did their best. I mean, Typhoon had some good run-ins there. Uni, you mentioned, was vocal. He had a good kill set up for it. I would like to see I think Abyss really showed some fire in there, but also showed some of his rusty tendencies just to kind of pummel back and forth. I think if he cleans that up, he's going to be great. So I mean, you guys got some firepower, and I think you guys. I mean, Chica was betting out of her mind. So I mean, there's a lot of good shit in there. I think to talk about, and I'm curious to see what you guys do the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, based off the scores of all the other games, and I know MB versus Click was close. This turned out to be match of the week for me, just because of how entertaining it was. You guys, like Click, had a game plan, stuck to it, keeping it slow and majority to the north. And I think the game started going away from you when you actually started to try and take it south. I know you wanted to change it up and try and catch them off guard. Obviously, Kev going 9-9, Typhoon 6-6. I still think he's dumb for staying so far south while you were doing subs and getting picked off. I don't think much changes if Manu is in the lineup and shows. Obviously, it helps with you leading. But shout out to Chica and Mercy, who played very well. I thought Chica had a hell of a game. Abyss, like Bowen said, had some bright spots, but one image sticks in my mind, and that is in the south tunnel, him running in a straight line just to toss a nade and die. Other than that, good game, guys.
Yeah, you guys said it all. I just want to make one mention that Kevin not only played well, he led the entire thing. It was his plays in the beginning that caused the. I mean, he called the switches and the turns perfectly timed, and he gets a lot of the credit for that score line. I think. I mean, I'm pretty. Didn't Case Crew we had the lead for a few minutes, I think.
Like 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and that was. I mean, who would have thought that in a game like this? That is Kevin, man. Congratulations to him. He did a really good job. I did like Typhoon in this game. Chica met it out of her mind. I completely agree. I probably, in hindsight, I mean, just to be quite honest, I came in a little unwarm, and I think I would have left Mercy in. I think my sub in was probably a mistake. But I don't know. Like you said, I'm not sure how much it really meant. At that point, they were really pushing. And Gentleman is real tough to stop when they want to kill you bad. So anyway, it was a good game. I really enjoy being a part of it, and I'm also proud of K's crew, just like Kevin is. So anyway, with that, we will talk about the other game. A little bit different in terms of the result. But we'll talk about the other game for Gentlemen, which was Gentlemen defeated Good Guys 78-28. Your MVP was split. Kevin, tell us your unvarnished thoughts.
Yeah, so I think this just came down to activity. Gentlemen are on every night. All of these guys are in playing at least 3. Like everybody's on every night, 3 hours. Good Guys, they log on every once in a while. They don't need to be here. I feel like they just like to be with each other or like on the same night. But I think it's week 1. They're not entertaining that much. I know when it comes down to later in the season, I think they'll start stepping it up and be like, because I know none of them like to lose. I know TG hates losing, so I think he'll like start logging in, starting getting the guys on, getting more SBs in. As far as stats go, Sav doing his normal thing, 18-4. Colossal 16-4, Mountain 16-3. On the other side, not many bright spots, but Chompy came in with the Ranger like later in the game, getting some cleanup kills, which was good to see. At least getting some kills for him because it was a blowout early. I think it was like 17-0 or 20-0. So just getting kills later is great. Rio going 3-13, but he seemed to play frustrated like halfway through to where he couldn't get anything done, running into ambushes, running out like with nobody with him. So I hate to see it, but I'm sure we'll see a better game in the 5 weeks from now. Hopefully we do. But yeah, good game by Gentlemen. Just the first week of the season.
Oh,
yeah, Gentlemen came out to play. I mean, that was it. And I think every angle that Good Guys tried to take, they just got cut. Again, you mentioned the activity. They've been around, but I mean, this is kind of the birds, bugs, hawks curse that tends to happen. People have mentioned a couple times with the week 1 for them just tends to be a bit of a struggle. And if they played a mid-tier squad and lost, it's a little more worrisome. But whenever they come out here and lose a gentleman, it's kind of like, well, it can happen anyway, right? So it's a good week for it to happen from that perspective. But getting blown out kind of hurts. But I know, like you said, they'll come back from this and they'll be pissed. They were pissed in the next match that we'll talk about. So shout out to Saab. I think he went 35-9 on the night, something like that. So I mean, Mountain went 16-3 this game. Colossal went fucking off. Like they had a lot of guys really take off. Welcome back, Mecca, 9-2. So well played. Yeah, looking forward to see what happens next. Hopefully, see Tactical join these guys in the near future. I think he's a key component that can help.
Speaking of not being able to stop gentlemen when they want to push, Sov was dashing in 1v3 at times and just picking them off. Split's Revenge Tour started off flat. The entirety of GG fell flat. As we were saying in the commentary, I don't know why Rio was not LMG. But based on their play, it wouldn't have mattered much. Fosso looked lost on his solos. I'm not sure what he was doing. I don't think he knows what he was doing. I don't think he's very used to the map. Fax 2-12, he did not have God on his side. And as TG put it, it was a little bit of elder abuse. Again, Sov unchecked, and the one time Iron didn't, as we said on commentary, didn't phase through the wall to heal him. Chompy managed to kill him, but that was like kind of the only bright spot for good guys. Yeah, good job, Pister.
Yeah, man, it was painful to watch. I will admit, it was surprising. We all predicted it to be a close game. We thought somewhere between 5, 15, maybe 20 if it's a bad day for them. I don't think anybody in their right mind suggested it was going to be a 50 kill game. That is just a way bigger gulf than you thought would happen. I agree there's some inactivity. I know they were squad battling or whatever, but I still don't think they've been active in the kind of way that these other squads have. And you're right. To Bowen's point, to what everybody else has said, Warhawks just does not play well in the beginning of the season. They turn it on, particularly after that first game. Generally, it isn't a first loss. Generally, it's a close game that they end up winning. But in this case, a really bad loss. Maybe it'll spur them on in a double the effort. But I think Dark Chompy was probably the only bright spot for the entire roster over there on Good Guys. Whereas Gentlemen, I don't think there was a single person that did not look pretty solid. So this is the result, and Gentlemen was absolutely unstoppable. A very, very decisive victory. And as I said last night, a statement win for Gentlemen and launching them into first place for sure. Let's talk about the last game here, which was Good Guys defeated PHCL 123-47. Your MVP was Splitta in a rare night where he got a double MVP.
Yeah, kind of cool to see us. Double MVP and a win and a loss. But yeah, this one's not much to talk about. Good Guys came back and just whomped on them. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it up. But there was some good things from what were we calling them? PHCL? Yeah, PHCI? I don't know. But Mites played really well on the Assault Trooper. I was watching him most of the time. He was getting angles. He was getting little cleanup kills here and there. Solid Snake, way too many deaths. Same with that dude. But that dude had some good streams, so you can't deny that. He wasn't playing medic, which is what we like to tell him every week.
Improvement.
It looks like he finally listened. Yeah, he finally listened this time. I don't know if he even does listen to us, but he played Ripper, so that's always good. Yeah, to round it out, TG, Split, Chompy, all getting their stat pads. So good for those guys getting their win week 1.
Yeah, I think this is the result of a very pissed off TG. I don't think he let go of the W key the entire game. I don't think I ever saw him not going forward. And yeah, I mean 28-8 from him. I think there was a lot to say that from that standpoint. I mean, just some shout outs to some of these guys on PHCL. I'm gonna say CL because it's chloride. But Mites, as you mentioned, Mites has shown some improvement, and I hope he can stick to it. Would love to see him continue to do it. Solid Snake, he keeps getting caught like out of position, like way up in front. So it leads to a lot of his deaths. Like he's just positioning's a little off. I think that's just some rust maybe popping up, and hasn't really played with some people who can help him out with that. But his aim's back on, so hopefully he can step it back up. And that dude, stick to Ripper. Like, I know you like Medic, but please, the Ripper has looked good on you, and I think you do it pretty well. So out in the open with a sniper was actually pretty interesting to watch, and you guys put on some damage with that. I still have it burned into memory. Just one more thing for Uzo, when he just ran in to all of good guys and just stood on top of Splitter trying to stream him and just got his ass chewed off. Like, anyway, fun to watch. I mean, from a standpoint of what it could have been, I think 47 kills is a win from these guys, and it was going to be this way, especially when a pissed off TG comes out. And yeah, next one.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Bax and that dude for showing that the Ripper Sniper combo is deadly if you're caught off guard by it. Bax was hitting the shots, but other than that, oof.
And I did not see it. I was busy getting my hot shot locked in on Arc Raiders. My apologies, guys. Sorry about that. Let's move on to week 2 games. Those took place on Kaiser's Pass. Or they took place. They're going to take place on Kaiser's Pass. The 9:30 p.m. game, we've got Monkey Business versus PHCL. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
I think this is going to be another blowout. I do see Monkey Business taking care of business. I hate that they have this because I say business a lot. But yeah, I feel like they're going to start their best lineup because they probably need to show out because they didn't get that many stats the last game. I know everybody likes their stats. So I like to see Leak, Ninja, Shasta. I want to see Danny show up this time, although it's 9:30, so it is a bit early for those guys. But I do want to see them play their best players so we can see exactly what they are, because right now I don't know what their best lineup is or what their best play style is. So I see them taking care of business against PHCL. I do want to see if Mites can keep up what he's doing. I want to see, obviously, that dude stay on Ripper. And I want to see maybe another medic crew for PHCL. Like, who can step up and be that the 2 medics, obviously. I don't know, because I didn't see much from them this past weekend or yesterday. Because I saw Eva, I think, was medding, and then MTR started medding. Someone else was medding too, but I don't think they have that solidified yet. So, but I see Monkey Business winning this one.
What's wrong with business? You against business?
I just say it a lot. Monkey
communist?
Business is going to take care of business. That's a lot of, it's too much of the same word.
Okay. All right, Bo, what's your thoughts, man?
I echo the same thing. I mean, Monkey Business is gonna take this. I expect it to be about a 50 kill game. I'm gonna say 60 actually. It depends on who that gets put in. I mean, because Monkey Business does have a second game coming up that night as well. So I don't know if they'll play their best lineup for this one and hold it for the following game that we'll talk about. But I mean, it would be nice to see Victim show up. I know they were missing that from the medic standpoint. I know he was out this past weekend. But I mean, they got some solid medics and they got some solid players. It just depends on which ones show up for this one to see if they want to stat pad it or get some people some playtime.
I will say that I know a lot of my squad was very happy that we got kind of left run first before gentlemen. I disagree with that. I think a lot of bad habits develop and carry on to the next match. And against the stat pad, you kind of just get overzealous and do stupid shit. So hopefully we don't carry that forward. I do see this being a stat pad, but again, looking forward to the next match, the more important match. Hopefully those bad habits don't follow through.
It is a stat pad game, but it's a chance for PHCL to really develop their gameplay. I know they're having some division over there. They need to work on that, solidify a starting 8 to Kevin's point, pick a starting 2 medics, stick with them for a little bit, see how they can develop over the course of a season. I think you have some choices you can make on PHCL that will help you as the season goes on. And kudos to Deadly Yeti, just coming back and getting right on the squad. And what did he do? 2 and 5 last week. I'm excited to see what he does as well. And welcome back to an OG. So Yeah, as far as monkey business, I think you guys, I agree, Eric. I think you're exactly right. Use it as a warm up, use it as a chance to hone your aim. I think the better you do here, the better you're probably going to do in the next game too. If you're warm, you're warm, and this is it's good to have it first. I agree with that as well. But monkey business will take this by a pretty sizable margin. To the 10-15, K's Crew 3 versus Good Guys.
Yeah, so my squad again. So it's on Kaiser Pass. Not a fan of this map, but luckily I think Mana will be back, so I think he's going to take the reins on this one. But we'll see what happens. So I will obviously be there to shot call. And then I gotta see who shows before I make a lineup because I don't know if Dave's going to show. Is Typhoon going to show? Typhoon showed, which is great. But we'll play it by ear of who shows. So I'm not sure. And on the other side, I know these guys are going to look for a win. They're going to play their best because they saw what we did against Gentlemen. I'm sure they don't want that to happen to them, just in case of an upset. Can it happen? Yes, we can upset them. Will it happen? Probably not. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this map. I know they play really well on this map because there's a lot of open angles, great positioning for law snipes. So I think it's an advantage for them for sure. So I'll just stick with that. I'm not going to give a prediction. I'll just say what I said right there. Move on.
I think this one depends heavily on which good guy shows up. Is this going to be the championship match team, or is this going to be the one that showed up against good guys last week or against gentlemen last week, right? If it's the one that showed up against gentlemen last week, this could be a very good match. Like the guys from KS Crew have game plans involved. They can surprise you. I do think that the firepower from good guys is a bit hard to overcome. And so I think that's where the advantage is going to come into play, especially you mentioned being the open map that it is. So I do see good guys taking this. I'm going to split the difference in my head and say about 20 by 30. But it could be plus 30 or minus 10 from there, 15 even. So we'll see. But yeah, show up, be the championship squad, and welcome back if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I know you want to slow it down, but this is one of those maps where it's very difficult. As you said, open angles, but even still, after the first fight, it's so quick and easy to trap you in your base. Unlike Twin Fields, you kind of had those buildings and everything. On either side, it's just very easy to see where you're going to go. And unless you can kind of delay the first battle long enough, it's going to be very difficult to get out of your base if they're capable of wiping you, which is in question right now based on how they played last week. But I do see good guys pulling away with about a plus 30, plus 40 margin.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Eric. That's the pessimist in me that this is the start of the good guys comeback tour, that they took their licks in week one, and they will emerge from that more determined than ever to slay everyone in front of them. And I think PHCL got the first taste of that. I think that K's Crew 3, as I said, the pessimist in me thinks KK3 is about to catch that same flack. But I think even if KK3 loses, there is a big win to be had in keeping this close. And if they play it like they did against Gentlemen, I think they have the potential to keep it closer than even they did against Gentlemen. And that would be, particularly at this point in the season, for the kind of quality that KK3 has, I think that would be a huge victory. And I think they're fully capable of it. I think they shocked everybody in week one, and hopefully will shock everybody in week two as well. Maybe we even better this time around. Definitely going to have the activity for it, I think. So let's move on to, let's see here. Gentlemen versus Monkey Business, the 11 o'clock game, probably our match of the week. Go ahead, Kevin.
It might be the next one, in my opinion. But this one's definitely a good one, I think. You got 1-0 Monkey Business, 2-0 Gentlemen. I do see Pister and Sav, mostly Sav, leading very well on this map. It kind of reminds me of Urban Decay, on how fast it is. And I know Sav loves that. He'll play AT, I think, just trying to get the vision and calling out where they are, and then getting Pister to give positions for the other teams. Or Pister will just say 4-4, guys, doing whatever. Either way, it works for them. So I do see Gentlemen winning this one. I think it's going to be pretty handled by them, probably by 30. I want to see Leak try to slow things down. I know everybody on that team doesn't like to go slow, but sometimes you just gotta go slow. I know, like Ninja likes to be in there. Shasta, maybe not Shasta. Exodus likes to push. Danny likes to push. Sabo likes to push. So maybe that might be a bad thing for them to have so many people that want to push, and you have a couple people that don't. But yeah, I see Gentlemen winning this by at least 30, maybe even more. I think they'll just take care of business and just play really well.
Yeah, I think what I really struggle with on this one is this isn't the best map for Monkey Business to keep this one as close as they could be able to. I think the firepower from Gentlemen is just a little bit much, especially with the open angles that we've talked about. I do see this being about a 40 to 50 kill win, but I think it's a high scoring 40 to 50 kill. Like we're talking, 90 to 60 or 90 to 50, right? That was 30 to 40, whatever, it doesn't math. But I think there's potential there, but I think the map is just not very advantageous for them. I mean, if they show their top 8 and Monkey Business really shows out, I think there's some potential there to keep this much closer. But I think this map just plays too damn fast. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Eric. My bad.
Wow. Again?
I was just agreeing with the point that Bowen just made in my head, and I was like, yeah, I got to get that out. But go ahead.
If we play like we did against Click, we're gonna get blown the fuck out. Like I said, this is a very fast-paced map. We SB'd them a lot in the preseason on this map, and the first few battles they wiped us clean, and then we clawed our way back in. So we can't afford to have that happen. Can it happen? Absolutely. This game can definitely get away from us. I have some things in mind, and I've shared that with Leak, so we'll see. It just all comes down to execution. I still give the win to Gentlemen by probably about 30 or 40, though.
This is a do or die moment. This is the first do or die moment, I think, for Monkey Business. I think that I have said that Monkey Business is in a good position to compete as a top tier team. They have the personnel, but listen, if you guys play like you did last week, you're exactly right. You ain't doing it. If Ninja and Leak don't lead your team, both from a numerical perspective and also from an on the field and like just vision and wisdom of the push kind of thing. Like if they don't do that, then I think they're wasted in their roles, and I just don't think you can compete with Gentlemen. I definitely think the Gentlemen on paper are the winners here, but if Monkey Business gets it together and the killers that are on that roster stand out, if Axis has a really good game, you guys could be really competitive, and keeping the number close, kind of like with the KK3 game, is a win. If you could keep it within 10 or 15, man, we're going to have a conversation about playoffs in the future and how that's going to go given a whole season to work on these things. But if it's a 30 or 40 kill womp, as Kevin would say, I think I think that we know that there's really only 2 teams in it. And honestly, it's just the Gentleman Show, which sounds a lot dirtier now that I've said it than it did when I was thinking it. But anyway, let's go to our final game. That is the 11:45. Kevin calls it the game of the week. I'm interested. I'm going to ask you guys at the end what you think about that. But 11:45 is PHCL versus Click. Kevin, make your argument.
Yes, this is my match of the week. Just my opinion. Everybody can have their own. I know Mecca loves these matches too. You got not the top squads, but maybe like the lower tiered squads going up against each other. Both 0-1. Couple different aspects to this one. Can we see the first Amber versus Eva matchup, which has been a little bit of a thing on the Discords if you've been tuning in lately? You never know. That could be a cool little thing that they got going on. But as far as leadership, I think... So yeah, I think Click has the better leadership than PHCL. PHCL just picked up a couple new players. They just got Ghost Bomber. They just got Vin. So those are 2 active players who are always on, at least from what I'm seeing in the last 2 weeks or so. But I think Click's leadership with Molo is going to outweigh what PHCL is trying to do. I just watched their last match with voice comms. It seemed a little bit crazy over there. Like nobody knew what was going on. People can't get on Discord. I don't know how that happens. So yeah, for that reason, I give Click this one. I won't give a score. I'll just give Click winning pretty handedly.
Bowen?
Yeah, I mean, so we've had some close SBs with these guys, actually in recently. Some of us is some disjointedness on our part. I think if we show up and play like we did against Monkey Business, we win this by like 50. If we show up and play this disjointed, like we've had SBs where we literally like, oh, we're only up by like 4, and it was like halfway through the game. We just weren't paying attention. So if we show up and just don't pay attention and act like we have this in the bag, we could fuck up. And I think we know better than that now. We won't, but it's something to keep in mind. And I think Ghost Bomber is a big addition for these guys. He has the aim. If he can get the positioning right, he's got that. He's fine. So I mean, there's some potential there for some work. I do give us the edge for leadership and just the overall experience and such from the squad. So I'm not gonna, again, same thing. I'm not really gonna give us a score. But I do think we can win this pretty handily if we just play like we should be able to.
You know what? I know Bax is already baiting Molo to do it, but I want him to answer the call. I want to see Molo snipe versus Bax. Apparently, Molo beat Bax in sniper duels, and I want to see it happen.
Legend has it. Whoa.
Yeah. I I do think that Click wins strictly because of leadership. I do think that the Sniper Ripper combo is going to pick apart some of your players for sure. So I think initially it might be a little close, especially if Molo plans to keep it slow like he did against us. Just because of that pace, it'll be a little close, but then I think you guys start to pull away about the 15-minute mark. So Click by, I'll say 40.
Yeah, I agree with Bowen. It's like it depends on which team shows up. If the team that played against Monkey Business comes out here, this is not a close game. You guys played very well, and if you show up in this game that's the same attitude and the same just strong collapse play, like I think Click wins this by 40, like Eric's saying. But if you come out lackluster, I mean, because on paper, if I'm just looking at names, it's not that crazy, especially you're exactly right. Add Ghost Bomber to the lineup, he becomes one of the top talents on that team. It's really not that crazily different. But the difference is leadership, like everybody's saying. Molo is the best player in both of these teams combined, not even close. And I think if guys like Draco, Bowen, Spark, if you guys support like you did last week, it's really not going to finish close either. So I pick Click for sure. But you are going to have to show up like last week, and you should show up that way for the rest of the season too. Let me go around the horn and ask for you guys to pick match of the week. Kevin, you're putting it on PHCL versus Click, right?
Yeah, of course.
Bowen?
I'm gonna say Gentleman versus Monkey Business.
Eric?
I also like these types of matches, so I'm saying Click and Phenylephrine.
Well, now we know what to do because I'm picking Gentleman versus Monkey Business. Now we're 2-2. What the fuck, guys? What do we do now?
Bring in Fosta.
I don't know what to do. I'll say that we have a dual match of the week. How about that? Let's just be fair. There are 2 matches of the week in week 2. Let's go to the mailbag. Let's see here. Start out. Most squads have a core foundation of members, and there are only a handful of players who really swap teams after each season. Is this static core trend a good or bad thing for the long-term health of the community? And I'll go ahead. Yeah, let me just ask that question and go around the horn real quick.
I mean, I know I like changing squads and playing with new players. That's just what I do. It's what I do almost. Probably I do 2 seasons with a squad and then I move on, and then 2 seasons and move on. But it's just what I like to do. That's it. Can't speak for everybody.
I think it's double-edged in a way, right? So like the guys that play together all the time, I think if you try to make them play with other people, they'll just stop playing. But we also don't bring in new people by just having the same people play together all the time, right? So it's this weird setup where you kind of have to mix it up, and we are doing a decent job of mixing that up now with separate squads. But like the ones that are bringing in new people are kind of just getting hammered by the squads that stick together, right? So I think I've said for a while I don't know if this game has the factor figured out for longevity. But I'd love to be wrong about that. But I mean, it's kind of both.
I mean, I'll just say this: you go back to the salary cap seasons; those are probably the most inactive seasons we've had.
Yeah.
And that's because it forced people to play with people they normally wouldn't play with, and it becomes frustrating when those people just don't. It's one thing to teach people that are willing to learn, but it's another to just play with somebody who's just going to do their own. Ask Mountain about Suicide Squad. I'm sure he has plenty of stories on that one. So I think the longevity is, these cores staying together and, having those top two mainly, but with a third possible squeaking away, possibly having upsets like OFB did the 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. I see it as a good and a bad. I see both sides. But here's the question: are the static groups inclusive of new players? And I think we've seen a trend that they are. What I've liked to see a lot of is that pretty much every talented player, be it Sav, Mountain, Kevin, Eric, whoever, always is willing to take a new player under their wing and like coach them on the game. And maybe they'll only do it for a season. Maybe they can only handle it for a season or two. But they're willing to do that work. And that's what we got to be able to do. We got to be willing to bring new people in, and we're willing to do that. There's a second question that says, if it's a bad thing, could there be any change you could envision outside of a draft, fantasy picking, or 3v3 team battles that would help to address this problem?
No, like Eric said, it never works. It's inactive. Nobody's with their friends. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, and I think that's a key difference as well as talking like, are you talking about longevity of the game where the same people are playing and there's no real growth, or are you talking about the growth of the game where that would include bringing in new people, right? So it's two very different things. If we keep the same 80 people, then yeah, we're doing fine. I think as we are. But if we want to talk about bringing in new people, then we'll have to figure something out at some point. But it won't be drafts, obviously.
This kind of bleeds into the next question. If we agree that we all enjoy this game, want to encourage new players to visit and stick around, what are some ways that members of the community can help drive traffic to this game and promote a good environment when they arrive?
Perm mute backs, Octavian, Eva, and YKO. And Speed.
Preach.
Absolutely. And CT.
Yeah.
Keep the toxic members of the community out of their fucking ears.
Especially when the newer people actually were starting to join, and Bax was advertising his Discord as the official USL Discord, and then they all just join and go, "What the fuck is this nonsense?" Yeah.
I don't know about that last one. I wasn't aware of that situation, but I will say that the toxicity upon entrance is definitely a thing that we should work on. I do think that it would be good to have more. If we could get people on just a little bit earlier in the day, just a little bit, just an extra 30 minutes or so, just playing around. I think that little bit of time would encourage people to think that there's still a population that they can chat with about how to play. But realistically, access, we've talked about a lot of this, that a new a facelift on the game is really the best thing for any of it. And I think that's what we need to work towards. I think I've moved into that camp firmly. Let's see here. Should we consider creating an award for the person that's most effective at bringing in new people or coaching them to improve in the game, like Heart of Gold, but for community relations rather than just the league?
I think that plays into Heart of Gold a little bit. If you bring in new players or you teach new players. So I don't know if you need another award for it.
Yeah, same page. I think that's kind of his Heart of Gold, really, is openness and stuff like that.
Ditto.
And yeah, we have a community contribution award. That's true.
Yeah, we have Good Luck, Have Fun, which is basically that award for the community. it could definitely include that. If you brought in a number of people, I promise if you brought in 2 new people, that somebody would be nominating you for that award for sure. Anyway, after last night's embarrassing loss to Gentlemen, who is your ideal lineup for good guys when Ernie inevitably joins?
Here we go. I have a question just like that, so I won't answer or ask.
I
mine.
did too. So
It's about to happen.
When we have Eric go first, I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
I
I know.
mean,
Eric likes
based off the scores, man, Fax was 2-12. But that is their core, and typically he plays a lot better, so that's just an off night for him. So if Ernie and Kaga inevitably join, I think you see Splitta on the bench.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's probably those Facts start. I don't know. I guess it's between Facts and Split.
You automatically include Fausto over Splitta and Pandy?
I think Fausto has too much vocality.
Now that he's not
That's
leading.
That's true too. Yeah, I guess Fausto too. Yeah, I guess it's Fausto, Fax, and Split are the 3 up in the air for that one spot. It looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Fax just had an off night. Rio had a real off night. I don't know, man. You don't know what version of Pandy you're getting. I think the most consistent player though is Fausto. I think he probably is the most consistent of the 3. But Splitta can definitely be a battle opener, and he can have a good night too. I think they're all. I don't know. It's a gamble play.
Hold on, we got breaking news. Ernie will start as Met over that shit slob, according to Kaga. Inside source.
Anyway, the addendum question: should Fairfax move to Medic? Should Split sit for Pandy, specifically that swap?
Pandy's a hard call.
Yeah, I'd keep Split for if it's with Pandy, if that's the 2 that we're looking at, and then maybe Fax just goes Med.
This kind of bleeds. What my response right now is going to bleed into kind of one of my questions. It depends on what good guys want to do, because they looked very passive against Gentlemen, and obviously that didn't work. At least with Pandy, he's going to push. Split is 50-50. Sometimes he pushes, other times he plays really passive. So I don't know. It really just depends on what they want to do.
All right. Well, let's go to this question. Which of these was the worst squad manager call of week 1 and why? Fairfax is Marine. TG is light machine gunner. Rio is Marine. Sabotage is medic. Fausto is solo flank.
That's tough, man. Squad. That's a lot of yeah, dude.
Jesus.
I think the TG Rio goes hand in hand. So I think Rio should have been LMG. TG Marine is what should have been, in my opinion.
So it's kind of 2 and 3 are kind of on an even footing because they lead to 1.
Yeah. One's got to switch, or both have to switch if it happens.
Anybody else make an argument for a different one?
No, I think that's accurate.
Fausto is solo.
That was a rough one. Fausto being left out of 2. We did discover he died first that one battle, but like 3 different battles, he's out of the play completely. And it's an 8v7. Oh, against Gentlemen? That's a rough one. Yeah. All right. So Rio, it's kind of a combo. TG is LMG and Rio is Marine. That needs to be a swap. See, I think everybody agreed on definitely in the commentary. Which player had the most surprisingly bad week 1 performance in your view overall?
Fairfax.
I'd say Rio, because he's the guy that's got to be getting the kills, and he's only getting 3 kills, dying 11 times. So I think it's him.
I echo Rio specifically because Rio, in my mind, is one of the most consistent players to ever play the game, and for him to I could feel his irritation by like minute 15. I could feel how angry he was at what was going on, and it was like, dude, you're being even sloppy, even if this was me. Like, this is, what are we doing here? And so I thought that was really surprising. But Fairfax's
mean-
overall score was worse than Rio's play. So I don't know.
I mean, in Rio's defense, it's hard to play a 6v8.
Yes.
Arguably 5v8. Fax
Yes.
dead the entire time and Fausto out in fucking La La Land. So I can't really blame Rio for that. I think it goes to Fax.
Okay.
And then a close second would be Fausto for being in
Yes.
La La Land.
And Bowen,
okay.
you got any thoughts on that? Anybody else from another team than not good guys?
No.
Okay.
Facts. I mean, yeah, I think it's facts.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Eric's got the most. Let's go to you. What do you got left?
All right. I'm just gonna get this one out of the way because I was essentially goaded that I wouldn't ask this, so I apologize in advance. Is Bax the most impactful player on Phenylephrine? That dude has never gotten more than 12 kills in a season, and last night he got 9 in one game. After hitting a couple bullets after Bax sniped opponents, let's face it, without Bax hitting all those snipes, his team wouldn't have gotten over 40 kills.
I'll say this in response. I heard the commentary that I think he posted to his squad. It was his post, right, on his video.
Yeah.
You talk to me
Yeah.
like that, I log out in
yeah.
that moment, Bax. In that moment. Like that's just it doesn't help your team at all to talk like that. They were easily pulling out at a reasonable time. They went above the rock, you went below, and then you're like, where the fuck are you guys? That doesn't help. That doesn't help your team. That doesn't help them play better. Anyway.
Let's move on. This one's interesting. What teams or individuals have the longest running rivalry / feud in USL?
Longest running? I mean,
Yeah.
Warhawks and Soft Squads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Easily. But
Yep.
what are the other ones that stand out?
Like individual, maybe? You want to do like individual players?
He said individual players as well.
Obviously, Splitta and Eric has been going on a long time.
Nagy and Fausto?
Stop. Nagy and Fausto.
Yeah, Nagy and
They
Fausto
SB a bunch.
technically is the longest running one right now.
Oh, Don Carter's, yeah.
Yeah.
Octonbacks.
Is that a dox?
Oh. That's public knowledge.
Yeah, I think I knows that one.
I don't know.
Can't say Back's not because they're like friends 1 minute and not the next. I don't know if I call that running.
It's love, hate. Hate,
Yeah.
love.
I don't know.
I mean, TG and Mecca. But I wouldn't say that's really long running. That's only
No,
since
it's a
Hungry
pretty
Beavers.
short one. But boy,
Yeah.
was it stark. I love both of them. Anyway, do we have another question?
Oh yeah. We already answered. Should give LMG back to Rio. K-Screw 3 had a decent showing versus Gentlemen. Are there any players or free agents that they can pick up who would help improve their squad?
I know there's
Kevin, what do you
always
think?
room on KK3, and we would love to
Oh, yeah.
have a player come and join us who is committed to the cause.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on how
Bowen know.
active they'd be, right? Sorry,
Committed to the cause. You got to be
No,
committed.
I was going to let you guys answer because I mean it's my squad, so I'll just.
Oh, that's
I'm
fair.
going to answer.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
like it depends on how active they're going to be, right? Like I see ESO in the free agents list, but he's not playing, right? So I think Rend is a good medic. A little bit law heavy sometimes, but good medic. I mean, there's guys out there that for sure could be helpful. Just depending on how active they are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think most of free agents are just people that aren't playing. So he would have to kind of steal somebody from another squad, which I guess is kind of the underlying question in that. I don't know if people are going to leave their squads to join. I know Bax probably would and recreate FUP as Sav is saying in Spec Chat.
You know who we'd love to
but,
have it's like an Angelus or a Hearthbull. I'd love it if those guys would come back. Where are you? All right, sorry.
Drew. Hop is out there, by the way. He's in free agents.
Angelus is his wrists are done. But anyways, I don't know where Hearth is. Probably busy with work. But moving on to the next question. Should Sov remain AT over champion when champion shows?
I think champion.
I think they're both really.
Yeah. Champion can play whatever he wants.
Champion AT is really good. He doesn't do it the way like prototypical AT works. He doesn't go for the vision. He goes for kills mostly, and he does it really well. He knows when to go in. He knows when to push, and his aim on AT is really good. So depending on how they want to play, who they're playing against, don't think it matters really.
I'm not trying to blow smoke. I think champion might be the most versatile player in this game, outside of Sov. So the two of them being able to rotate off of each other and do whatever. Yeah, I think they can work well.
Those two can play dueling Marine and still have an impact. So doesn't matter.
Not to glaze, they could do whatever the hell they want to do and probably be
Champ
fine.
Champ says, Sov, you're really cocky for a mediocre player in chat.
Oh man.
Oh, funny.
Well done.
After week 1, who had a more impressive showing? Case Crew 3 or Click?
Eric, why don't you answer this?
Click. Oh yeah,
because everybody else is in a member of one of these squads
involved. Yeah.
I kind of answered it when we were going over the recap. I think just because of the lineup differential on paper, keeping it close for the first 15, I think Case Crew 3 had a more impressive showing than Click.
I would give a shout out to Click though. I mean, the players on the bottom of that roster, I never thought could play with that kind of consistency and defensive,ness, and boy, did they show me up. And that's impressive to see. I didn't know they had it in them. So a whole new gear unlocked. I think it's just building the anticipation of the KK3 Click game, which we said in the season preview. It's going to be a good game, and there's 2 of them to come. So
yeah. Is Monkey Business's relative close game with Click a concern, or a long-term concern, or just a bad game? Since this is my squad, I'll let you guys answer first.
I think it's just a week 1 getting flustered, not knowing. You have the new medics in Sabo. I know he's been all season or all preseason, so I don't know if everybody's used to that yet. So yeah, I think it's just a week 1. They'll figure it out. You guys will figure it out in the next coming weeks, I'm sure. So just a fluke, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we just kind of like I think I said in the earlier in the pre-show, we caught them off guard a little bit. I think we just put them on their heels like faster than they expected. And if they didn't make that same mistake, coming out, anticipating running over us, I think that probably would have been a whole different ball game to come out. But again, Molo let his ass off, and a lot of things kind of fell into place there for us. But I think that later in the season, and as the season goes along, Monkey Business is just going to get a lot better. I don't see any concern there.
I think Victim Bonds is the medic combo you should do, and Sabo should be in a fighting role. And then I think you guys will be shocked at how off to the races you are with how aggressive Sabotage is. Just plant a medic behind him and let him go to work. And I think you guys will dominate. That's just my thought. Yeah, I think it was a one-off. I think you guys improved.
Yeah, I also think it was a one-off. Last question. If the panel had to pick after week 1 games, would they pick Click or Case Crew 3 to make playoffs?
Case Crew 3. Yeah, that's
Click.
my choice.
We quite literally did this in the preseason season preview. Yeah,
we did.
I stand by my decision to update the audience.
I also stand by my decision. Case Crew 3. That's all I got.
So 3-1, Bowen. You lose.
Hey. Oh, okay.
You get Molo on the panel.
Yeah.
True.
Where's our
He
fifth?
says.
God. All right. Eric, what you got next? Anything left?
Nope, that was my last
All
one.
right, Bowen, go ahead with you got one, right?
Yep. So let me pull it back up. It was, again, this is not my question. Was Bax bullied too much growing up or not enough?
Not enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Staying
not
muted.
enough.
I'm just gonna leave it. I've said my thing to Bax. I enjoyed being on his team when I played with him. I'll just say that.
I think if Bax got punched in the face about 10 or 15 more times, he'd been an okay person, but he didn't get that. So
Okay. Next question.
that's all I got.
Okay. Kevin?
I got one because one was already pretty much asked. Let me go to it. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. So Chompy has consistently labeled himself as a 5-star player. Based on last night's performance and previous seasons, is he a 5-star player?
Is Chompy a 5-star player?
Yes.
I think we've seen games where he plays 5-star, and then I think we've seen a few that he hasn't, but every 5-star player plays that way. I would say right now he's probably a 4.5 for me and has flashes of genius. I think on classes, he is exceptional. If you force him to play Marine, you would see that 4.5 more visibly. But I think it's all a matter of time for him and him just playing every situation another few hundred times. Because he is so naturally talented. And, I think that this is kudos to the Warhawks guys because they have taken Chompy and molded him he was raw talent, and they have really done a good job. I mean, learning from TG, Tactical, Rio, Staley, those guys, they will teach you a whole lot. And I think that he has had the benefit of that tutelage, and it has worked wonders with him. And I think another 2 to 3 seasons, and he's going to definitely be a top-tier talent in this league, if he isn't already.
I mean, you look at players like Ninja went 4-5 the other day, last night, right? Like he's a top tier player in the game, right? Just those games are going to happen, and I think that Chompy he came out a little bit more struggling than what he was, and I think he had a streak of like 6-0 that game against Gentlemen. So like he has these flashes where he's like the absolute best player in the game. But he just, he gets caught, but sometimes it's like, is it because it's 1v8 at the time or what happened?
Was it
right?
Sav he destroyed when Sav had a medic?
Yes. Yep.
Annihilated him. Like, oh my God, that was an ugly 1v1.
Yep. I mean, I do think Sav is close to 5 stars, if not 5 stars.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite players.
Then he got Lawn on the wall by Colossal right after.
There was that.
Not 2 seconds later.
There was that.
Yeah. Anyway, that was funny. Kevin, another one? Do you have another one?
No, that was it. Everything else was pretty much asked.
Okay. All right. Well, we want your mailbag questions. If you have questions you want the panel to answer, feel free to send them to myself or Eric directly on Discord or on USLZone.com. I'll put the questions together prior to our recording on Monday evening, and bonus points if your questions are funny. USL Week 2 games are coming this Sunday, January 18th. Don't miss the matches, as this week sounds like it's going to be some intense clashes. The roster lock also doesn't kick in for several weeks, so if you still want to get in on a team, here's looking at you. Free agency list. There's still space for you on the team. That will do it for USL Live in the Season 55 Week 2 preview. You can play Infantry for free. Download the game on Steam. Type Free Infantry or visit freeinfantry.com. If you're interested in League play, USLZone.com, as we said. Check out all the available videos on the Infantry Online YouTube page, built and maintained by military police. Feel free to relive the nostalgia anytime you want by going back to watch play from past seasons. We've got so many seasons up now. I'd like to thank my co-hosts for the show today. That was Kevin, Bowen, and Eric. Thank you all three for being here. Thank you to our executive producer, Military Police. This has been Romulocks, and you've been listening to USL Live.